going to speak on yes, I'm going to speak on behalf of KSR. I may repeat a bit of what was just said, but forgive me and I will get to it. So I graduated from the faculty of KSR in 2017 from the combined program. I'm currently the chair of the KSR Alumni Association. I would like to start by saying I am humbled to be given the opportunity to speak to you, the graduates, and your families, as well as faculty members, and on behalf of my fellow board members. So I'm going to get to the boring stuff first, so that you'll still pay attention when I get to the good stuff and the inspirational part. But KSR is a volunteer-driven chapter made up of 14 board members, all from different backgrounds and all alumni from the faculty. The mission of KSR is to promote, connect, engage with, and support the KSR community to flourish in their academics and professional and personal pursuits. KSR aims to execute the following goals. To promote the KSR community, this can be through highlighting successful alumni in our alumni spotlight feature on our website, recognizing achievements through awards or through networking opportunities with fellow alumni. Motorcycle. Number 2, to connect and engage KSR faculty, students, alumni, and partners with each other. This could be through events such as Alumni Weekend, curling bonspiels, golf tournaments, beer tastings, and many more. And 3rd, to support student success. KSR wants to assist students to ensure they are set up for successful postgraduate experiences, whether it be academically, professionally, or personally. We support this through events like the speaker series and panels where alumni can share their experiences and knowledge with students. So you know how KSR's planned events to keep you connected, we're there for support, and to answer all your questions as you went through your undergrad? Well, we at KSR are the people that kind of do just that, but once you've graduated. You are not left alone. You still have people that you can reach out to. You may also be so intrigued by that spiel I just gave that you may wish to stay connected to the faculty or are interested in joining our board. You can reach out to us at kSR@ualberta.net or follow us on Instagram at ualbertakSR for more information on upcoming events or just to stay connected. We will be hosting our next event in October, and it will be networking and mentorship conference type event. The details will come later in the summer. Now for my words of wisdom. So it wasn't too long ago that I was where you are, so incredibly nervous about the chapter to come. For the first time, we don't have a distinct path to follow, someone to guide us along through each step. We went from having our parents to our school counselors to our faculty advisors, and now we're to figure it out on our own. Or so it seems. If we were gathered together on campus for this banquet, I would say to you to look around the room. Every one of your fellow graduates is in the same boat as you. You will leave this chapter paddling together into whatever is next. Some of you may be questioning, what actually comes next? Am I going to feel fulfilled in the industry I have chosen? Should I turn around and go back to school for a master's program? Or are you truly unsure what is out there for you and where to look for it? So let me share with you that I graduated 4 years ago and I'm still looking. Perhaps that provides you some comfort or definitely worries you, but I share that with you because it is becoming more and more normal to be unsure of what career you want to have or bouncing through different careers to figure it out. And this may go on for many years after you graduate. And there is nothing wrong with that. You may try certain jobs, follow certain paths, and they may not feel quite right. Or they may feel right at the beginning, and then the excitement may fade, and then you'll try something else. There's so much out there and so many industries and organizations that need and are looking for your expertise and skills. It may not be what you thought you'd be doing when you started your degree, or maybe even when you graduated, but over time, you will figure out where your passions lie and what makes you feel fulfilled. You just have to be patient and not get caught up in the, I should have this all figured out by now. I'll be transparent. I turned 30 next year, and let me tell you, I still don't have it figured out. But instead of being worried about it, I tell myself to enjoy the process and all the opportunities I can take on in the meantime. My mom used to always say to me, it'll all work out. And it really drove me crazy. But I can actually say that looking back, and even as I continue to figure it out, it really does always work out. And if something doesn't work out, it's because it's opening a door for the next opportunity. So let me be the absolute first to say, welcome to our network of KSR alumni. You are joining an incredible group of talented individuals who support and encourage each other along the way. That's a great thing about being a KSR alumni. You know, that sense of family and community that you feel being a part of the faculty in your undergrad, that doesn't go away. And through the events that KSR holds, that is the community that we try to keep alive. I really look forward to networking with you and keeping in touch. So please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or to reach out via our KSR channels. We are always here to help and to make the next step a little less daunting. Congratulations on this incredible milestone. You are all truly going to do great things, and I can't wait for you to be a part of my community of alumni. Cheers to the graduates, and thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. So our next speaker is Dr. Amber Moswich, and unfortunately she could not be here with us tonight, but she did record a video for you all to see, which I will share with you now.
Hello to the class of 2021. First of all, congratulations. What a major milestone, and wow, has your journey been one for the books. I feel so grateful and fortunate to have been able to interact with so many of you during your time in KSR. You're truly an exceptional group of people, and I can't wait to hear about the great impacts you're going to make as you keep moving forward in your lives and careers. I wish you all the best in your journey, and remember, you are inspirational, you're passionate, and you're exceptional. I wish you all the best in your careers and lives.
Perfect. Short and sweet from Amber. Awesome. And our next speaker is Dr. Kelvin Jones, and I will let him take the floor.
All right, I guess I just get to follow up. Thanks. I was thinking about what I was going to say. I had tons of ideas about what message I might leave with you on this auspicious occasion. I thought I should dress up for it, but I decided I would limit it to 3 things. First of all, while we call you the students, I learned just as much from you, and for that I am so grateful. And I have an example. 2 KSR students very recently just educated me on the importance of the fun scale and what type 1 and type 2 fun is. So type 1 fun, as I've learned, is fun from beginning to end. It's fun while it's happening, but type 2 fun is not fun while it's happening. In fact, it can be miserable. But when it's all over, you might say, you know what, that wasn't so bad. And in fact, it was kind of fun. So I hope you had a good mix of type 1 and type 2 fun while you did your degree. Number 2, getting an A or giving an A. So it's a good thing Dr. Mirage is on here. He's going to recognize this book. This is a book by Benjamin and Rosamund Zander. It's called The Art of Possibility. And in that, they outline a tactic or purposeful attitude that fosters generosity towards yourself and others. And they call it giving an A. And the important thing is that an A is not an expectation that you develop for yourself or for other people. That's a possibility that you can live into. So I hope that you all give yourselves A's for the work that you've done over the past few years, and that you live into that possibility. And the last message I'm going to leave with you actually is something that comes from my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Darlene Auger. Darlene grew up near Big Stone Cree Nation, which is up near Wabasca. And Darlene introduced me to some teachings, the Cree laws, and there are 44 of them. She learned a bunch of these from Elder Carl Quinn. So 44 laws, I thought about 44 laws, that's a lot, and I don't have that much time. So I picked one, and this law is Sitoskatok, which means support one another, especially during times of grief and loss. So thank you for teaching me, especially about fun and maybe how that applies to some of my classes. Give yourselves an A and those around you to live into, and Sitoskatok, support one another, or find ways to be gentle when other people are feeling bruised. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jones. That was very, very wise words. I know I'm not graduating, but I'm going to take them with me as well. Now we will have Dr. Davies.
Good evening, graduates. It's a pleasure to be here tonight to celebrate with you the graduating class of 2021. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the challenging year that all of you have had and that it's finally now behind you. I can only imagine how stressful it must have been to transition to online learning for all of you, especially in the final year of your degree when the stakes have been so high for many of you. You rose to the occasion, you adapted to new learning conditions with grace and quiet determination. Not only should you be incredibly proud of your academic accomplishments, but of equal importance, You should be proud of how you navigated the difficult and unprecedented circumstances that came your way. While I'm not surprised by your resilience or your ability to adapt to changing circumstances, I'm always impressed by the consistent displays of kindness, support, and optimism that I observed in my classes. I am confident that with all of you at the helm, my future will be much brighter. As you move on, embrace adventure, nurture your sense of humor, and above all, maintain your integrity. I wish you all the best and have a fantastic summer.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davies. That was very sweet. Our next speaker is going to be Dr. Mirage.
Holy smoke, it's me. All right. First of all, thanks for the invitation to be here. This is wonderful, and to all the organizing committee who did the legwork for this. But first things first. Congratulations. Oh, baby. You did it. What a journey. You know, everything from the last year and a half, but the 4 years altogether to get you where you are. Now, I've got this, I wanted to tell you something so COVID wouldn't win. That's really what I wanted to do. Because when you graduate, they'll say, oh yes, you went through that COVID, whatever. And then, you know, you go back, say your last year was all remote. And then in the winter of 2020, you went from in-person to, and then you ended up with credit, no credit stuff. And then if you go back to the fall of 2019, that really is for me an oasis in this desert of a pandemic that we've had. I really think about that. And so I wanted to take you back there. I wanted to take you back to the fall of 2019 before all of this came. And you're gonna have to bear with me as I do this, because 568 days ago, I did something that I'd never ever done before. There's some people who may be here who were in the class when I did it, but I addressed a graduating class. It was a second year class, but I really, so I waited 568 days for this moment. And this is what I read to that class on December 5th, 2019. So you're gonna have to fasten your seatbelt for a second here. So as I face you today, I face the future. And had I the opportunity to speak to the future, what would I say? I could echo all the voices of different things that have nurtured you over time, telling you to be kind, other motivational words that have spurred you on. And they're all very magnificent. But the reality of all that is that this can be daunting at times. And I really want you to be dauntless. I give kudos to the Divergent fans on that. If I could speak to the future, there'd be no detail of what to expect, no items to specifically prepare for, save one, yourself. Learn to take care of yourself and you'll be able to take care of others. This is not to be selfish or self-serving, but meant to position you to be the best version of yourself, so that regardless of the context, you give your best to the world every single time. That's what I want you to know. I've got more in here that I can tell you about, but I want to leave you with one thing though. I write every morning and I find words that help me throughout the day. And I've written for the last 10 years or so, and I've found some words that help me as I go. And what I want to encourage you to do is to find the words that help you, but not just find them. I want you to live them as well too. And so there are three things that I like to live as, and these are the ones that I've learned that help me take care of myself over time. I try to be fearless. Some people call it bold. This is my version of fearless right here. I'm wearing a bow tie that I tied myself, right? And not fearful. And I'm sometimes fearful, and we can all be. Over time, I've recognized that there's a difference between fearless and reckless, and you got to know that difference as well. The other two words are to be gracious in all things, show grace under any circumstances, and work really hard towards that. And the last one is to be grateful. Grateful for everything, even if they come in less than wonderful packages, and sometimes they do. I try to live by these every day. I wish you the best as you find your way and find the words that'll guide you. There's a magnificent journey that awaits you. I want you to find your words. I want you to live them, and I want you to enjoy the ride. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I'm done.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mirage. I continue to be just blown away by the wise words of every one of the professors. We are just so blessed with this faculty. On that note, we will move on to Dr. Streen, who Billy is. Okay, we're gonna move on to Billy.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations. I feel a kind of parental pride in seeing your accomplishments and knowing something about what you've had to overcome to arrive at this milestone. And I learned a lot about experiencing great joy from another success from my dad. And today is the 20th anniversary of his death. So a bit of ode to my dad. I think my dad really would have enjoyed seeing what you and I have been up to over the last 4 or 5 years. He wrote a book about the use of humor in therapy, and he loved jokes. And I think he really would have loved and gotten a kick out of seeing us doing laughter yoga at rookie camp, back when we were allowed to call it that. My dad was a professional listener and a speaker, and I think he would have delighted in seeing your development in communication. And he was a very appreciative person, and he would be glad to hear me say thank you to all of you for being students. I get to be the best of me when I'm with you. And thank you for granting me and all the other instructors the opportunity to make a difference with you, which I say is the greatest gift that you can give another person. Most of all, my dad was a model of unconditional love. And that phrase gets thrown around a lot, but rarely do we get to experience someone who is an unwavering champion for us. And that's what I strive for. And there's a special kind of love between teacher and student that both sees beyond the outer surface and really accepts you for who you are. And it's much like that kind of way that parents naturally feel for their child. So in that sense, and from the great well that was filled by my dad, I love you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Billy. Our next speaker is going to be Adam Pinkowski. You can take the floor.
Thank you for making it so easy to follow, Billy and Brian and everyone before. This is just absolutely the easiest thing I've done. So 2 things before I start. Firstly, I thought I'd pick a background that will make all the grads even more thankful for leaving before we return to in-person delivery. And just so, you know, this is what you're going to be missing next year. So congratulations. Secondly, though, as Dr. Jones mentioned before, we learn as instructors. As an instructor, I learned just as much from you as you do from me. And as an example of that, yesterday was the Kin 311 spring classes final. And as the bonus question in the class, I thought I'd try to look for some inspiration for my speech today, for my talk today. And I asked them, without failure, what is the one inspirational quote that will always motivate you no matter what? Unfortunately, I didn't receive a whole lot of help because 8 out of the 20 responses were you miss 100% of shots you don't take. By Wayne Gretzky. So I could speak from the great one. However, I decided to take it in a slightly different direction. So I have 2 pieces of advice to offer you before you embark on your respective paths, wherever you may end up. The first is that preparation is one of the fundamental keys to success in any aspect of life. Putting the effort in behind closed doors will always lead to more being opened. And if you don't have the time to fully prepare, as I'm sure many of you have learned the hardest of ways over the last few years, sometimes it just has to be good enough. And in those cases, just having the appearance of preparation is good enough. The second piece of advice that I have to offer is to wear your passion and don't be afraid to express your enthusiasm about what you love. You never know who is listening and the effect it will have on those who hear it. And the people speaking today are just some of the best examples I have ever witnessed, and I've ever had the pleasure and just the greatest of opportunities to sit and listen to, both as a student myself and as somewhat of a colleague now, although I don't quite believe that myself. But anyways, again, congratulations to each and every one of you. You've done it. I wish you all the best wherever you end up with your KSR degrees in tow. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Adam. And right on time. Alex, you've taken a different approach with the background, but I equally respect that, and I will give you the floor.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, thank you for having me. I know I'm flying in late, and I will make my speech very brief to you all, because there's one thing I've learned over COVID is I'm now sick of these meetings over Zoom, and I can't wait to at least have a summer where I don't have to video with anyone. I hope. So I'm going to knock on a lot of wood here. That's the case. Anyways, congratulations, class. I know this is not how you envisioned your fourth year going, but one thing I'll tell you is going on from here, you're probably still going to have to explain what the heck kinesiology means and what you did for the last 4 years. And the other piece of advice is there's probably a number of you out there that aren't sure what you're actually going to do now, right? Like the big goal was to make it through, grab your degree, and now the what am I going to do now with it? But rest assured that you do have the best degree from the University of Alberta you could possibly get. It is the most well-rounded degree. You have been taught how to think properly, and going forward, you still have lots of time, as Adam there, to really find your passion and where you want to spend that energy going forward. And so I looked back when I was looking at the speech of all my practicum students, and those are the ones that I have spent the most time with and know kind of what they're doing. And they are doing all sorts of different things. And probably only half of them are actually using their kin degree the way we told them to in the 4 years. You know, lots went on to get other degrees. A few we scared out of KSR completely and are now, one's in accounting, another one is making lots of money with his MBA. So I did tell him that once he's made enough millions that he could for sure donate back to my lab. So I'll be looking on him in another 5 years to see if he's gotten that far yet. That last point is don't be a stranger to the faculty. We know we're saying goodbye to you now, but you're always part of the family, right? Like KSR was a giant family right from first year in rookie camp, and you're still part of the family. So always feel free to stop by, say hi, or, you know, as we go forward with no masks now, I won't recognize a bunch of you without the mask on. So you may have to reintroduce yourself because I only know you from this up kind of thing. So congratulations. And yeah, we hope to keep in touch and see you guys soon. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you very much, Alex, and thank you for being here today. And now I will pass the floor to Dr. Dave Collins, who committed professor and parent here. He's on the fly. We appreciate you being here.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am in my car. So hello to the graduating class of 2021. Congratulations on your achievement. I'm excited to be here as you finish this chapter of your life and prepare for what's next. I know for some of you that path is well laid out, and for others, not so much. But either way, you can be sure that at times, the road ahead will be a bit of a roller coaster. So today, I'd like to share with you a couple of things I'm still trying to learn about navigating the highs and lows of life. The first message is to be sure to pause and enjoy these special moments, like today and what today represents. These special moments come and go, and it's all too easy to cruise through life with blinders on without taking time to recognize and enjoy the times like these. Second, when the low points come along, remember, it's okay. We all get lost sometimes. Take a breath. Cut yourself some slack. There's better days ahead. So I know there's better days ahead from personal experience. I've been struggling with some mental health issues for the last couple of years, but I'm in a good place now. I share this with you because I know many of you graduates also struggle with mental health issues. I know because that's what we professors hear, but I also know because of what I've learned about navigating life's lows from a member of this graduating class, who I've had the honor and pleasure of getting to know. They came to me when they were in first year, struggling with things that no one of any age should have to deal with. Today, they proudly walked across that virtual stage with all of you, and there's no better proof that it gets better than that. So whatever form the lows in life take, remember, it's okay. We all struggle with something, and it gets better. This message and even some of the words were inspired by Jane Marchevsky, a young woman dealing with terminal cancer. Her remarkable outlook on life and her song, It's Okay. If you haven't heard it, it provides the soundtrack for this message about navigating the lows, and she captures it much more eloquently and powerfully than I do. Just Google It's Okay and Golden Buzzer if you're interested. So class of 2021, congratulations. If you can get here under these conditions, you're well prepared to tackle the challenges that lie ahead. To finish, I'll summarize this message in the style of the great philosopher, Forrest Gump. Life is like a roller coaster. When it slows down at the top, take the time to savor the moment. And when it seems out of control and you're at the bottom, it's okay. Everyone is there beside you, and the tracks only go up from there. Thank you very much, everyone, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Collins, for those very wise and inspiring words. We will now have Associate Dean, Dr. Angela Beyduza.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm super excited to be here. When I was first given the invite, I have to be honest, I'm similar to Sarah and other people. Alex has mentioned this too. I don't yet have it figured out. I'm about to turn 50 next year and I'm still in university. So I too, I'm still figuring it out. The one thing when I was thinking about today, and again, I've just over the last 3 years in my role as Associate Dean, I've had the chance to join convocation and see our graduates walk across that floor. I realized how incredible you are. And I also echo what other professors and instructors have said, just how much you have taught me and how you have filled me with joy and thoughtfulness and really pride. So I'm like a parent. I'm very proud of you all. And I want to pass along a huge congratulations. This is an enormous accomplishment. You should be very proud of yourself. If everybody could do it, everyone would be doing it. And as already has been noted by Alex, you have completed an undergraduate program in one of the most challenging faculties to be admitted into, first and foremost. So you got here and you got through in some of the most challenging circumstances that no generation has ever faced, that you have achieved. So again, a huge huge congratulations. And I'm super excited to be here. And I'm doubly excited now that I know that there's going to be a Kahoot tonight. I've used Kahoot and Health Ed 110 a few times. I love that game. So anyway, I'm excited to be there. But anyway, I hope that your undergraduate degree has been, I'm sure it's been hard for each of you, but I hope that your undergraduate journey has been the experience of your life to this point. And I hope that you take some key things with you from your experiences, some key learnings, obviously, about your profession and your professional practice. But more importantly, I think about, no matter where you go or who you meet or what you accomplish in your life, that you remember it really is not what you take, but what you leave for the people who follow behind you. So I encourage you again to, as Sarah had mentioned at the start, please stay involved, please stay connected to KSR, come back and visit us, get involved how you can, but give back. And again, continue to pave the way for the journey for the people to follow in behind you. We are a faculty of people, we are a family, and we hope that you will continue to acknowledge that tradition, but to wear your KSR colors with pride to continue that tradition. Remember, no one can take this accomplishment from you. Be very proud of what you have accomplished, but move forward knowing of what it is you are capable of, what you can achieve. And again, you have done it through some of the most challenging times. So again, your lifelong journey continues, I hope, in a more open and less masked way. But please remember to stay involved and again, wear your colors with pride. So in the infamous way that Ukrainians often say congratulations, Nohaya Yalitya, and I wish you many, many happy and healthy years. Again, thank you so much for having me tonight and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Beduza. I hope you know we are expecting a stellar performance in Kahoot later tonight. And to conclude our speeches for tonight, and last, definitely not least, we have Dean Carey Mummery.
Well, thanks, Sarah. This is an all-star cast I'm following. It's been a couple of years because of COVID since I've spoken at a grad banquet. So thanks very much, first of all, for putting the virtual banquet together. I congratulated you and thanked you by email, but I wanted to do that in front of people as well. So it's fantastic. But yeah, what an all-star cast. Usually I only have to follow one of these people and now I'm following all of them. So there is a bit of a challenge there. It's been, I mean, I'm greatly disappointed that we won't have our photo in front of the bear, which is virtually behind me that now is a tradition. And I'm very disappointed that we won't shake hands as you cross the stage, but I congratulate you nonetheless. And in a lot of ways, these things are trivial in comparison to what you've already done. This is my last act as dean. I'm actually done at June 30th, but I've decided to take 3 days of leave, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that I could say that the last thing I did as dean was speak at the graduate banquet. So you're it. So let's hope I don't screw this up too badly going forward. For many years now, I've said it's been an honor and a privilege to be the Dean of the Faculty of Kinesiology, Sport and Recreation. An honor and a privilege. And at one point, I thought about that concept of privilege and being privileged. And there's two things I want you to know about me. One is I'm a massive Tragically Hip fan. That probably won't get you anything, but I want you to know that about me. And two is that I am from Kenora, Ontario. The two tie together in a way that I'm going to try to explain. I grew up in Kenora, Ontario. I grew up in it's a pulp and paper town in Northern Ontario. I was first in family to go to university. None of my parents, none of my siblings, none of my cousins, none of my extended family had ever gone to university. And I worked my way through. I took a degree in environmental science and zoology to ultimately become the dean of kinesiology, sport, and recreation. So when Sarah said you don't know what the path is, don't worry, you don't know what the path is, because I wanted to be a marine biologist. But the two things that tie together there is that I'm a massive Tragically Hip fan. So therefore, by design, I'm a massive Gord Downie fan. And a few years ago, Gord Downie released an album called Secret Path. And Secret Path is a story about a young man in Northern Ontario. And I went, oh, Northern Ontario. Well, usually if they're in Ontario, they always say Northern Ontario is Sudbury, which I go, that's not north. So I looked it up on the web and I did a little bit of homework. It's about a story about Chanie Wenjack. And Chanie Wenjack has lived in a residential school, and he wandered away from a residential school trying to get back to his hometown. And he died of exposure on railroad tracks north of the residential school. I did a little bit of digging on this, because usually when they say Northern Ontario, I go, well, this is interesting. So I'm going to do a little dig. Chanie Wenjack and I are almost the same age. He was born in January, I was born in May. The place in Northern Ontario that Chanie Wenjack was trying to escape from was Cecilia Jeffrey Indian Residential School. Cecilia Jeffrey Indian Residential School is less than a kilometer away from where I grew up. Less than 1,000 meters from my house was Cecilia Jeffrey Indian Residential School, and Chanie Wenjack was only about 4 months older than me. And I thought I was doing it tough. I was growing up in a pulp and paper town, never been on a plane, never been on a train. I thought I was doing it tough. But you know what? I was very privileged. I'm white, I'm male, I'm 6'2", blue eyes. I don't know if the blue eyes do anything, but I've been very privileged in my life. And I wanted to say that each of you have been very privileged as well. You've gone through a very hard time, you've accomplished a great deal, but you're privileged as well. And over the years, that privilege will show. And all I'm asking is that as you work your way through life, that you give back to people who aren't as privileged as you. It took me a long time to realize how privileged I was. As a matter of fact, it was only a few years ago when I was really reading about Chanie Wenjack, who grew up less than 1,000 meters from my house, and the life that he went. I have to tell you that when I lived there, I lived in a very small house, about 700 square feet, 2 bedrooms, whole family, which wasn't even a bad place back in the 1950s, 1960s. But we thought that the people in the residential school were living in a big brick mansion. We had no clue. We had no clue what's going on. So I've challenged the students here over the years to give back. And I've always said that our faculty is full of people. You work with people, you interact with people, you do good things. That's why you're here. A few years back, the KSRs came to me and asked for some funding. And I said, yeah, I'll give you the funding, but you have to do something for someone else. And they came back to me and their plan was to raise money through the MS bike ride. And I was all into that. Pardon my language, it was the biggest pain in the ass that I ever did, because I rode that ride every year and I'm not a bike rider. I did the 200K. It was terrible. But I was thrilled that the students were giving back to someone else. So I just want to say congratulations. You've done a great job. We are all very privileged, and over your life, please give back to those who have not been as privileged or have not had the privilege we have done. My wife and I are leaving $60,000 in an endowed scholarship for Indigenous students in the faculty, in my way, in some small way, to give back to Chanie Wenjack, who grew up 1,000 meters from me and passed away at the age of 12 in a manner that I had no knowledge of when I thought I was doing it hard. You've worked very hard, but ultimately we're privileged. And if I can challenge you, and if I can ask you, and if I can get you to do anything, is over the years, please give back. It doesn't have to be to the university. It doesn't have to be to the faculty. Do something, do good things, and give to people. Thanks to the students that have been in the faculty over the years. I've been privileged. It has been a great privilege to be the dean. this is the last thing that I will do in my 11-year tenure as dean, is say congratulations to you. And I hope that as you progress successfully through life, as I know you will as our graduate, that at some point you are able, willing, and happy to give back. So thanks very much. Best wishes, class of 2021.